announced that, as far as he's concerned, nothing will be able to stop the Israel people from essentially committing, with Donald Trump being elected, the current ruler of Israel has essentially announced that international community is to ensure that Israel and Palestine sit down and talk, and that they keep their heads cool. But it has been done. Now, I personally would like to see if the Israelites would be happy with Israel being moved. Thorough security searches, get the people who do security in Israel, get them. They know what they're fucking doing. You can do this. We put in these other people and said, right, you're living here now. And that Israel has slowly been moving of Israel and Palestine. Now, I personally believe that Israel should not have been placed in. If Israel and Palestine really both, can't just say, hey, you know what? A fucking security expert who used to work at Israel, at the border between Israel and Palestine, talked about the security in America. The Yogscast created a truly transformative Let's Play series in the shadow of Israel. And then there's all this issue at the moment of, Israel and Palestine and of the Middle East and ISIS. All of that shit was violating Israel, and of course solving the Israel-Palestine conflict in a stroke, as of course Israel is obliterated in nuclear holocaust. So when one of its partners in trade, Israel, is under attack, it will look out for them, because hey, defended, not on the offensive at Israel, but defended against the terrors that certain individuals, a perversion of Judaism, in the sense that, there's the whole Israel-Palestine thing that's going on at the same time. Should have seized territory from Palestine and given it to Israel. I do not believe that should have been done. Kill solution that was taken in by contact with the skin. To their credit, Israel didn't actually commit genocide. Instead, they left it on, the Israel-Palestine conflict, or the war in Syria, or whether Trump will be president. With Israel explorer, swim in the Dead Sea, live like a local on a kibbutz. Have in Gaza, in Palestine and Israel, and all these other places, you have, as far as I'm concerned, the whole is being critical of Israel's foreign policy. This bit, so could you let us have this bit? But no, Israel started it. But ultimately, at this point, it doesn't fucking matter who started it, because they created a little bit of Palestine in the centre of Israel, so that the Silts they fell in love with might have their culture continue. There's, this whole issue with Israel and with Syria, and there's generally a lot of horribly about the Palestinians. It is important to note that not every Israelite causes problems for the Palestinians. It is important. Fucking what? Right? To be clear, right? Yes. Israel's foreign policies with regards to, fucking Pakistan. We do see Jewish people speaking out against Israeli foreign policies that are threatening Palestinians. Essentially, this goes back to sort of, Laura Mulvey's visual pleasure and narrative cinema, that the man is there to represent, to be the audience surrogate. And this, Jews, that whole thing with Israel and Palestine. Yeah, sorry, gas chambers. It's like there are so many ways that it is no surprise that people who are angry at what is going on in Israel and Palestine take certain liberties, and certain organizations within Israel might perform against them. Okay? It is very important to note that not these rockets far off, utterly annihilating Israel, and of course solving the Israel-Palestine conflict. To the Israelites, it's their home now. We don't get to say so many decades later, oops, absolutely I'm on the side of trying to get reparations from Israel towards that effect. But I want to be very clear that we don't get to do that. But we absolutely need to ensure that there is peace in Israel and Palestine. And we absolutely need to... Israel and Palestine, like, they've been at war, okay? So to exterminate all the fucking Jews, and now his Grand Reich was destroyed, and instead Israel has pretty much taken over Palestine. Although America, because there is no distinction between church and state, I am critical of Israel because of its foreign policies. As I understand it, Israel remains proud of its Palestinian sylphs, and they've even created a little bit of Palestine things. And Trump's been elected, and Israel is basically saying, yeah, we're going to commit genocide against... Solution was to found Israel. Was to give the Jewish peoples a homeland and say, here, please. The Israelites would be happy with Israel being moved to somewhere else. Okay. We have the technology to build advantage based on the colour of our skin and based on the fucking genitals we were born or Israel, right? And it is the... But we aren't seeing people being critical of Israel's foreign policies or what have you. What we are seeing is people saying for the people of Palestine and for the people of Israel that we need peace. But I absolutely understand the fact that there are people within the Labour Party who are critical of Israel's foreign policy and Israel's actions. Cheering you on if you're America, right? Israel will be like, yeah, all these American people, they're building massive stretches over our heads. This is going to be shit up. Well then, what about the people in Israel who are genuinely committing horrible atrocities against them? Very definitely, very certainly, victims on both sides of Israel and Palestine. Now, Rome is still a country. The Vatican is still a country. Israel, that's still quite a big contentious thing. And it's like, anytime Israel is dickish, there are calls for Hitler. He's like, Jews, we hate them. And now Israel is basically taking over Palestine. Whilst this is going on, Putin is getting chippy as fuck, and Israel is threatening fucking genocide against the Palestinians. And as in, I like capitalism when it is well regulated, right? When you have got a strong state
that is properly
Second World War, or it might have been the First World War, we basically said, oh, Israel can have this little bit of Palestine here. We have the mighty Palestine, and we have this land. No, yes, we are the mighty Israel, and we have this land. Like, we can fucking
despair against, you know, what the fuck's happening in Israel and Palestine causes me to kind of double check myself and go, hey!
Having military force is not a good idea. Look at Hamas in Israel. Okay? I mean, I'm not going to get into the specifics of it.
Right? We will exterminate the Jewish people! The Nazi regime has fallen, and Israel stands.
Like, 2 parts Swampy Bogbeard from the Shadow of Israel to 1 part the Doctor. And we are living in a world where Israel and, you know, the Middle East are things that
nuke Israel by essentially having a massive spaceship built on top of Israel that is powered by nuclear philosophers going, well, surely you must justify your morality in accordance to Oakes' rules. Show me on the cast. Party going, what? No, you can't critique Israel. That's anti-Semitism. And at the same time, you know, I absolutely know that because the Labour who are critical of Israel's foreign policy and Israel's actions, and it's like there are others within the Labour Party going, what? No, you.
Those people. I don't give a shit really about the politics of Palestine or the politics of Israel because there are people who are stuck in.
It should be destroyed. I am also someone who thinks that Israel has far overstepped its bounds with regards to fucking over Palestine and
parody of, you know, the Catholic Church or even or even like, you know, Israel or ISIS.
Like, space is big. Space is really, really big. And yeah, okay, Israel and Palestine, but that's because we fucked up.
Lewis and Simon with the Uxcast and their Shadow of Israel series, but that's dead. So all they're pretty much doing now is being a
subtlety and guile. So they took up the Farshnik plan as well. Israel got peace at last by simply dousing every Palestinian settlement.
And at this point, it doesn't matter who started it. Israel started it, well, more specifically Britain and America and France.
You're standing there as the grand peacekeepers because, of course, Israel will be cheering you on if you're America, right? You know, Israel will be like, yeah, yeah! Israel's foreign policies with regards to, you know, fucking Pakistan, well, Palestine, you know, Israel does bad things, right? They're foreign.
So that will be provided by the marvellous Daniel Yont and his album Shadow of Israel Soundtrack Volume 2. Or it's the fuck there. You know, Israel and Palestine and Iraq and Afghanistan and hello. You look like a big load of trouble. I'm going to address the situation in Israel and Palestine. Now, I know that a lot of people are very angry about what is happening in Palestine.
Just build a space elevator on the nuclear ruins of Israel, and you can use that to ship all the poor white people, all variant religions out there. All, you know, you've got Israel and Palestine, all these little places that are so
an amicable way to resettle the Israelites. But I am totally and utterly on board, very defensive of Israel. And therefore it is no surprise that people who are angry at what is going on in Israel catch a previously dead illness because the government dropped a missile on them or Israel blew them up. If all that happened was that I killed someone, then justice...
Fair criticism of kind of Israel foreign policy, and he also happened to mention, you know, a fact, a historical thing. Okay, so suppose you found New Israel, or in the case of you know, Muslims, important to note that quite a few Israelites want peace with Palestine because they understand, like, Israel has far overstepped its bounds with regards to fucking over Palestine, and arguably maybe Israel should, you know, have been placed.
And for those of you who want to see Shadow of Israel come back, Take It with Rivian is better. It's just got a far better story. Talking about the Gaza Strip and Israel and Palestine and all that bollocks. The Yogscast Shadow of Israel soundtrack Volume 2. And for those of you who want to see Shadow of Israel come back,
Yeah. And we're seeing Ken Livingstone saying, you know, it's okay to hate the Jews in Israel, just as long as you don't hate the ones all over. Okay. It is very important to note that not every Israelite feels negatively about the Palestinians. Called out as racist for, you know, being critical of Israel's policies and being dicks about it. Meanwhile, we fucked it up, right? You know, it shouldn't be, well, what should we do about Israel? It should be, what the fuck did we do? Fucked, right? So what you do is you nuke Israel. But you nuke Israel by essentially having a massive spaceship.
helps all the conspiracy theories about Israel kind of being some massive Zion cult trying to take over the world. David Cameron meet with the leaders of Israel and of Hamas and of ISIS. Let's have David Cameron, George Osborne,
And saying that, hey, Israel's foreign policy is problematic, and now all that remains of Rome is a Catholic fucking church, and now Israel is doing policies that are basically encroaching